Okay, so we are going to discuss about this verse, which is actually said by Bharat Maharaj to Rahughan Maharaj, and there are very important points in this verse, especially. This is almost the last verse. This is 5th canto. I think what's that verse? 5th canto, 12th chapter, 15th verse. Yeah, this is the verse. And here in this verse, this is a verse 5, 12, 15. In this verse, very important points are, first Bharat Maharaj is saying to Rahughan Maharaj, he is making this point, Samam smritir mrigadeha virira. He is saying, I remember everything of a past life. Now, the question is, everybody don't remember past lives. Most of the people, they forget their past lives. In fact, Krishna says in Gita, Smritir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. I think it's 10th chapter, 15th verse. Yeah, Smritir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. Krishna says, I give forgetfulness, I give remembrance. So what's that verse? Smritir Jnanam Apohanam Cha? The 10, I think 10, 15 it is. 15. 15. I am just forgetting the verse. Oh yeah. What is that? Sarvasyam Hridhi Sannivishto Mata Smritir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. Yeah, this is the verse. So Krishna says, I stay in everyone's heart and I give forgetfulness. Smritir, I give remembrance. Yeah, this is the one. Sarvasya Chame Disannivishto Mata Smritir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. It's a very nice verse. In fact, if you see chapter 15 verse Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Sarvasya Cham Hridhi Sannivishto. I am staying in everyone's heart as super soul. And I give Mataha Smritir, I give remembrance, I give knowledge, and I make people forget things. It's simple. But there are many meanings to it, deeper meanings to it. So in day-to-day life also, Krishna gives remembrance and knowledge and then makes us forget things. And he does it every day. Now you might feel, I remember things. But no, you don't remember things. Every day he is making you remember, he's giving you knowledge, and then he's making you forget. How? Now Acharyas explained that when you sleep, he makes you forget everything of this present life. That's not in your hands to not to remember. And to say not to forget, that's not in your hand. It's not in your hand not to forget, but he makes you forget. Now here forgetfulness is a very deep forgetfulness. When you forget yourself, when your memory fails, it's not that you forget yourself, but when Krishna makes you forget, he can make you forget completely about yourself. I mean to say, in deep sleep, you even don't know your own I. That's the point Krishna can take you to. And that, or for example, in this coma states, or maybe amnesia. In amnesia means people who forget the memories, whose memories fail due to accidents or something. They might forget the name, the address, the family members and everything about them, but they don't forget themselves. I mean to say, they don't forget the concept of I. But in deep sleep and coma, you're gone. You're finished. You are gone. You are gone. That's the point. The I is gone. So that's a forgetfulness. Every day you forget in night. Even in dreams you forget your identity. You take up different identity. You are something, you're king, you are something else. And then when you get up, Smritir, Krishna makes you remember. You are so and so, Mr. so and so, Mrs. so and so, and then you immediately remember yourself, you remember everything about yourself, and then you continue work. It seems so effortless. That's the very important point there. Generally, to remember things, you need to put effort. But its transition from deep sleep to wakefulness seems so effortless. You open your eyes and you remember everything about yourself. And that is very important point, because it is effortless to go into forgetfulness every day at the time of sleep, and to again return to remembrance every day when you wake up in the morning. This means some higher energy or higher forces in work, and that is Supersoul. So this verse 10, 15, 15 is used by many acharyas to prove the presence of Supersoul. I mean to say, the first line Krishna is saying, Sarvasyaham cha hirdi sannivishto. 15:15. Krishna is saying, I am there in everyone's heart as Supersoul. But then what's the evidence? That's the whole question. What's the evidence that I am there as Supersoul? Krishna says, Smritir Jnanam Apohanam cha. Krishna says, you see, every day. You can feel my presence. While you can feel my presence in the transition, when you go from wakefulness to sleep, then from sleep to wakefulness. You see the point there? And then Smritir Jnanam and Jnanam. And you can see my evidence in knowledge also. The whole point is, many people, you see in a class, there are many students. And every student gets the same class, the same teacher, the same notes, the same book. But everybody has different understanding. Now what about that? Now you might say it's due to intelligence. Different children have different IQs. But the whole point is, why they have different IQs? What's the problem? The brain is the same, the cells are the same, am I right? According to scientists, it's the same. Grey matter, white matter, it doesn't vary so much. So then why it's different? Krishna says, I am Supersoul. As Supersoul, I regulate their IQs. Jnanam, that's in my hand. Intelligent quotient, that's in my hand. And I regulate from inside. No matter how much you read, if your IQ is set 50, then you'll remember only 50% or you'll understand 50% things. If your IQ is set 80, you will understand 80% things. If your IQ is set 100 like Einstein or something, you might understand 100% things. But it depends. And whose hand it is? It is Krishna's, Supersoul's hand. So this verse, if you want to prove the existence of Supersoul, this is a verse from Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, 15th verse. First statement of the verse, if you take it as 4 lines, the first line is the presence of Supersoul. The first line is a declaration of the concept, presence of Supersoul, and the next line is the evidence for that declaration. Smritir Jnanam Apohanam cha. And the third and the fourth line is the evidence from where this declaration, evidence, what is evidence? The source of evidence. Vedas. It's simple. It's a very, very nice verse. In fact, anyway, so Bharat Maharaj, because of the presence of Supersoul, Bharat Maharaj, he can remember Smritir Mrige Deha Api Vira. Even he could remember, even in the body of the deer, his previous life as King Bharat. And even in the life of Jad Bharat, he could remember his true previous lives due to the blessings of Supersoul. Now the question comes, if Supersoul can make you remember past lives, as in the case of Bharat Maharaj, why doesn't he do this for everybody? Everybody can remember past lives. In fact, Bharat Maharaj makes the point here in the purport. Bharat Maharaj says, even though Bharat Maharaj received the body of deer, he didn't forget his position. In the purport, Bharat Maharaj says, 5:12, 15. Consequently, in the body of a deer, he was very careful to remember the cause of his fall down. So nice, huh? So because Bharat Maharaj received the body of the deer, but he didn't forget his previous life as King Bharat. Consequently, he could remember, he was very careful to remember the cause of his fall down. See, so if we remember our past lives, it seems it's helpful. If we remember what sins we have done, then we remember what punishments we got in different lives. So we will not do sins again. It helps, it seems it's helpful. Or maybe as devotees it's good, in previous life we remember, oh, I did so many Vaishnava offense, due to that I got another birth. So this life I will be careful to not to do Vaishnava offense. So why doesn't Super Soul make everyone remember past lives? Now the answer is given in this verse. Second line, Krishna Archana Prabhava no Jahati. He says, I could remember everything of past life even while in the body of deer because due to my past sincere service to the Lord. Krishna Archana Prabhava no Jahati. Krishna Archana Prabhava. That's the word there in the verse. Because of influence of my past sincere service to the Lord, I didn't forget everything of my past life. Very important statement. So it's not that Super Soul will make everyone remember about their past lives, for the fact that there is a disadvantage first, and for the fact that first point is for the fact everybody is not a devotee. They didn't serve the Lord, so they don't have a connection with the Lord. This remembering past life is a special grace which was offered to Bharat Maharaj because he served Lord, so Lord wanted to serve him. It's reciprocal. Yathamam prabhadyante stam sathaiva bhajamyam. Which is that verse, Gita? 4.11 verse. As you serve me, so shall I serve you. Yathamam prabhadyante. Prabhadyante means surrender. As you surrender to me, surrender means service. Tam sathaiva bhajamyam. Bhaj dhatu means serving. So shall I serve him. So it's reciprocal. So the first point is, why doesn't everybody remember? Because they didn't serve God. So Krishna Super Soul doesn't really serve them. It's an for non-devotees, the relationship between Super Soul and living entity is an official contract. It's something official. Living entities are there. Super Soul is like a lord, and he is managing the universe and the living entity. So he makes them remember what is required for them to live. Namely, he gives them the power to remember what they have done in this life. He gives them the power to remember their own selves, their own I and me, their own identity. And very important point, if God doesn't give you the power to remember what happened the previous day or the previous day, you lose track of time. That's why if you see in amnesia patients, amnesia means people who lose their memory due to accidents, they lose track of time. They can't really keep track of time. Because our sense of continuous identity and sense of past experience, it helps to give the sense of time. That's my past, this is my present, and then what you imagine, that's the future. Am I right? So smritir jnanam apohanam cha. This statement, this is a very deep, I told you there are many meanings. This statement also in Bhagavad Gita, it gives remembrance, knowledge and forgetfulness. This also shows a mechanism by which Krishna gives you a sense of continuity of time. That's very important. So that's an official contract. Within this life, we will remember your past experiences and you will remember your identity. I am this. You will never forget this. I am this. I am so and so and whatever it is. So that identity, that let's say bodily identity or whatever identity, you will not forget. Or maybe an experience of I, you will not forget. So, but you will not remember past lives. Nobody is going to remember past lives. Because they didn't serve the Lord, and so they should not be specially graced by the Lord. Bharat Maharaj served the Lord, Krishna Archana Prabhava, so he was specially graced by the Lord to remember past lives. This is first point. Second point is, he doesn't allow, still the question remains, why he doesn't make everyone remember his past lives. He could have given special grace to everybody, even without serving him. Why he didn't make this an official agenda to give everybody past life memories? Now it's common sense. If he gives everybody, if everybody remembers all their past lives, then they will all be in asylum. The world will stop functioning. Everybody is going to fight with everybody. Everybody is going to kill everybody. Because in past lives, you killed somebody or somebody killed you, isn't it? And we were envious of somebody and somebody is envious of you. If in past life if you remembered your past life and you remembered, oh my God, my wife killed me in the past life and she ditched me and she killed me horribly with an axe and she burned me and then she killed my whole family. How will you love your wife? the immediate divorce. Or your friends did something to you, or you were envious to them. So all your envy from past life will accumulate and will bombard you. So all your thoughts of lust, envy, anger will bombard you of all lives. Most of our lives or all of our lives were non-devotional. So that means that every moment of our previous lives were full of lust, anger, envy, greed, frustration, fear. Am I right? So if all those emotions, all those thoughts come in our mind, they surge in our mind like a tsunami, we'll go mad actually. Perhaps we'll go in coma. We will not be able to function anything. We'll die actually. We will die. And that's one reason when you sleep, one of the function of sleep is to make you forget previous lives experiences. Even in this life, Krishna makes you forget previous life experiences. Otherwise, you become mad. Am I right? So someday you're feeling very lusty, and then people feel very rusty. People feel very envious. Then what they do? When people are frustrated, what they do? If a person is extremely frustrated, something happened in an office, his boss scolded him, shouted on him, his employees are shouting, everything is chaos. He just comes back home, takes a drink and sleeps. Am I right? Then he gets up. Oh, now my mind is little cool. Otherwise, if his mind would have burst, he would become a neurotic patient. He would become a psychopath. So you need to forget things, even what happened the previous day. Otherwise, you go mad. Otherwise, you have to take stress pills. Am I right? The people who are stressed out, people who are frustrated, if they don't get sleep, they get nervous breakdowns. So you need to forget even what happened in the past day. So you can imagine how much you need to forget what happened in your past lives. Not one life, past life, but past lives. So forgetfulness is a mercy of God. Now how much to make you forget? How much to make you remember? That's also a question. Who decides that? Who decides how much to make you forget of previous day? Previous day you might not. So you might not forget previous day. I took a nice Coke, but you will forget of. But for past, what happened past 3 days? You fought with your wife, but then you tend to little bit, forget that. The experience of that incident dampens up. your fight with your wife 3 days previously, hot fight, and after 3 days, the experience of that, the memory of that fades. Am I right? Little bit. And as time goes, it fades. So what to make you remember, what to make you forget, that super soul decides. That's another thing. Smritir jnanam apohanam cha. That's why the word jnana is there in 15:15. Smriti means remembrance, apohana means forgetfulness. In between the word is jnanam. Bhagavad Gita 15:15. Why? Krishna decides according to your knowledge, according to your desires, how much to make you remember, how much to make you forget. Jnana means desires, am I right? Desires, knowledge. I mean to say all the knowledge what you have. This knowledge comprises your desires, your knowledge comprises your thoughts, your feelings, everything is jnanam. It's all what you experience in this world. As knowledge, as feelings. It's all what you perceive in this world, Perception leads to knowledge, am I right? So what do you perceive? You perceive many desires, you perceive many feelings, you perceive many experiences, you perceive your own desires, and all those combine to form jnanam. According to your jnanam, your knowledge bank, Krishna decides how much to make you remember, how much to make you forget. It's a very important verse, Bhagavad Gita 15:15. Go and have a look. So that's the whole point. That's another point why Krishna doesn't make, as a super soul, why he doesn't make everyone remember about his past lives. First point is, I mean to say, first point is because they were not devotees, so they should not be blessed by a special grace as Bharat Maharaj. Second point is because if he makes people remember about the past life or lives together, their mind will crack. Their mind is going to crack. You're going to die. So, but in Bharat Maharaj's case, he had a special grace because he served the Lord. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Neha vikramo nasho asti pratyebhayo na vidyate swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Neha vikramo nasho asti na iha abhikramo nasho asti. Krishna says, in this endeavor there is no loss. Which is this verse, Bhagavad Gita? 2.40. Yeah. Neha vikramo nasho asti. In this endeavor of devotional life, there is no loss. Prabhupada makes this point here in the purport. Because Bharat Maharaj, he did devotional service to Lord. Prabhupada makes the point. Yeah, Salpam Abhisya Dharmasya. That is the verse Prabhupada quotes 240 here. Because Bharat Maharaj, he did devotional service to the Lord, it never goes vain. Because Krishna promises, Ye athamam prapadyante tam sateva bhajamyam. If anybody does service to me, I will reciprocate accordingly. I will not forget even if he forgets. And that is what is said in Chaitanya Charitamrita. A servant might forget the master, but the master will never forget the servant. Will never. What's that verse? So that is Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ante Leela, 4th chapter, 46 and 47th verse. Very beautiful verse. You have a look. CC Ante 4.46 and 47. What's that verse? Okay. Anyway, so the verse is the meaning is the master might forget the servant, but okay, here, there, thank you for that. Sei bhag dhanne jena chhade prabhur charan. Now the Prabhupada writes, glorious is that devotee who does not give up shelter of his Lord. That's glorious, that devotee. Sei prabhu dhanne jena chhade nijjan. Glorious is that Lord who does not abandon his servant. This second line is about Bharat Maharaj. Because as King Bharat, he left his master. He forgot Krishna. Krishna is our original spiritual master, the glorious spiritual master. He left the shelter of his Lord. Glorious is a devotee who does not give shelter of his Lord. But as King Bharat, he left the shelter of the Lord. He forgot. He got involved in this deer business. He got attached in this deer business. Prabhupada makes the point in the previous purport. Why he got involved in deer? Because he didn't consult his spiritual master. Very nice line I saw. Just in the previous verse, 14th verse, 5, 12, 14. In the purport, Prabhupada writes, he didn't consult his spiritual master, and thus he fell down. So spiritual master, yeah, it's there in this, you can see. If the spiritual master, despite very rigid in devotional life, Bharat Maharaj did not consult his spiritual master when he became overly attached to a deer. In the purport, it's there, in the previous verse. That means the cause of fall down of Bharat Maharaj was his ego. He just went to the forest alone. He stayed there alone without. Now here spiritual master might also means senior devotees, not just Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru. I mean to say, he was just staying alone in his hut. He was egoistic, and he thought, now I have achieved this bhava platform, so I don't need association and guidance, and consequently he fell down. That's a very interesting point. The cause of fall down of Bharat Maharaj, ego of staying alone. Ego of staying alone. He wanted to stay alone. Anyway, that's another point. I mean to say, one warning here for devotees: no matter how much advanced you are, always take guidance from somebody. Always have friends to take guidance. So if you don't have senior devotees, if you are the senior devotee, you should have some friends on the same level who can guide you or who can give you some warnings always. Am I right? Never be alone in devotional life. Even Madhven Puri was spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He didn't stay alone. He was staying with his disciples in the forest. He used to travel with his disciples. At least 9 of his disciples are mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Not exactly 9 disciples. It is a confusion. They were not all his disciples. 9 disciples. They were his companions, because now this is another topic there. I'm going from topic to topic. So Madhven Puri, Chaitanya Charitamrita mentions that Madhven Puri had 9 sannyasis with him. And out of that, some sannyasis of Puri had title of Puri, like Paramanand Puri, Ramchand Puri. So they might be disciples of Madhven Puri because same title. But then there was one companion who Saraswati. Saraswati was there. Narhari Saraswati was also there. Some 9 companions. The names of 9 companions, Madhven Puri. It's mentioned. What is that verse? The 9 companions. I just forgot. Anyway, so in that, everybody is not Puri. Everybody is not Puri title. So this shows that those 9 companions were not Madhven Puri's disciples. They were his companions. Madhven Puri kept them, took association from them. Even though he was running from bad association of non-devotees, he made sure not to stay alone even in that position, even such an elevated position, who became the seed of the tree of Lord Chaitanya's devotional service. You can imagine? But Bharat Maharaj, as King Bharat, he thought he's great. He's on the platform of Bhava. Now he cannot fall down. From platform of Bhava, you don't fall down because it is mentioned in Nectar of Devotion. So I'll not fall down. It's mentioned in the book. But don't think you can't fall down. From any platform you can fall down. Even from the level of prema you can fall down. Even though it is written that at the level of prema there are no chances of fall down, Prabhupada says. But still, Prabhupada said, Rupa and Sanatan, they escaped from this material world. Prabhupada knows Maya is very dangerous. Anybody can fall down at any time. Anywhere. No matter how much stage you are. In general, there is a general understanding from the level of prema nobody falls down. But this world is very dangerous. And Maya is as powerful as God. So if we do mistakes, if we are not alert, she can make you fall down. She can do anything. So anyways, so let's come back to the talk, that Chaitanya Charitamrita verse. Ante Leela, what was that verse? Can you show that? Yeah, CC Ante 4.46 and 47. So that verse, so there's a verse. Now here, this is the Bhagavatam verse. Sorry, yeah. Sei Prabhu, so sei bhakdhanne jena chhade Prabhu charan. Those devotees are glorious who do not give up shelter of the Lord. But King Bharat, he gave up the shelter of the Lord because of false ego. He became attached to deer. So, was his life ruined? No. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami states in the next line, no. Sei Prabhu dhanne jena chhade nij jan. Now, glorious is the Lord who does not abandon his servant. The servant might forget the master. But if the master also leaves the servant, then what's the difference between the master and the servant? Then why the master is master and servant is servant? Master should be more qualified than the servant, am I right? So the master will not actually leave his servant. The Lord does not abandon his servant because the Lord is more compassionate than his servant. That's why he's Lord, that's why he's master. Otherwise, he's on the same platform as servant. And if the servant forgets the master, the Lord has an opportunity to exhibit his quality of compassion. Am I right? If the devotee forgets the Lord and the Lord forgets the servant, then the quality of compassion of the Lord is not expressed. So Lord takes this opportunity to express his quality of compassion in this world. And to actually not just express the quality of compassion, to use his quality of compassion in the service of his devotee. That is God. Just as we want to use all our qualities in service of God, Krishna wants to use all his qualities in service of his devotees. So one of the qualities of Krishna is compassion. So this is an opportune moment, the best moment to express, to use this quality of compassion in the service of his devotee when his devotee forgets him. And anyway, I'll not make that point. So, the next verse, 47, Durdaiva seva yadi jaya anya sthan. Exactly Bharat Maharaj. If by chance, what's this? If by chance a servant falls down and goes somewhere else, Bharat Maharaj went somewhere else. So somewhere else doesn't mean place. He was in the same place. I think Bharat Maharaj, he went to which ashram? So he went to Sameprash somewhere. I think he went to Sameprash somewhere. Huh? Pulasya ashram. Yeah, Bharat Maharaj went to Pulasya ashram. But he was staying alone. He didn't stay with devotees. So there he went, and he was there, and their deer came. He got attached, and he was there. He didn't go. If by chance servant falls and goes somewhere else. Now where did Bharat Maharaj go? He didn't go anywhere, but in consciousness he went somewhere else. From the Lord, he went to the deer. In consciousness. This verse is, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, this verse is quoted for Kala Krishna Das. Am I right? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's personal servant Kala Krishna Das, he left Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and went to the tribes. He was seduced by tribes. He changed the place. But here Bharat Maharaj changed his consciousness. He went somewhere else. So if he goes, Sai Thakur dhanne tare chuli dhariyane. Glorious is that master who captures him and brings him back by his hair. So the Lord, if you forget Krishna, if you become attached to somebody else, Krishna will catch your chula. Chula means hair. Chula means your choti. Choti, what's that choti? Your shikha. Chula means shikha. For males it's shikha, and for Matajis it is their ponytail. What's that called? Pony? Ponies. or something. Anyway, for females it's their hairs only. But for males it's their choti. That's why we have shikha. Yeah, ponytail. For females, they Lord catches their ponytails. For males, they catches the shikha. That's why we have to keep a ponytail. Otherwise, we don't have shikha. Then what he'll catch and pick us up? He will catch us and pick us up. That's his mercy, and it's not happening with. By the way, you don't think it happened with Kala Krishna Das. It happened with Bharat Maharaj. It's happening with us now. We are forgetting Lord. We are sometimes rejecting Him by our own will. And then what Krishna does? Krishna throws you out of devotional service. Krishna doesn't allow you to chant Hare Krishna. Krishna actually throws you out of the association of devotees. No. He makes plans and arrangements to bring you back, to give you His remembrance again. He is planning continuously. That's why He is glorious. And that is when Narottam Das Thakur sings, Patita Pavana Toma. What's that verse? No. Patito Pavana Toma, Bine Keno Ke Hohar. So Narottam Das Thakur says, who else is there? The deliverer of fallen souls. You are the deliverer of fallen souls, and I am the most fallen. I am the best candidate to be delivered. Mosama Patita Prabhu, na pai hohar. You will not find anybody fallen than me. So please make yourself glorious by saving me, because then you will be called in this word as Patit Pavan. And that is why Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says, glorious is the Lord who saves His servant. He uses the word glorious because the Lord becomes glorious when He saves His servant who has forgotten the track. As for King Bharat, as for Kala Krishna Das, or as for us, every moment that's happening. So every moment we can remember these two verses. Chaitanya Charitamrita Ante Lila 4.4647. Sei Thakur Dhanne. Very nice. These two verses you should remember. CC 4 Ante 4.4647. Remember that. So, so that's Krishna Archana Prabhava. That's what I was talking about. By his service to Krishna, Bharat Maharaj remembered everything about his previous life. Krishna made him remember about his previous life so that he can advance again to the same platform. And he will not actually glide. Prabhupada makes a point actually in this verse. This may lead to animal. Prabhupada actually makes, it is certainly a great fall to go from human life to animal life. It is a great fall in the Prabhupada writes, going from human life to animal life. And the word he's commenting here is actually Jahati. Jahati did not leave. Yeah. Anyway. So it's a great fall from human life to animal life. If you fall, it's a big fall for a devotee. For an ordinary man, it's happening. I mean, for an ordinary man, he's not even a human. He's an animal in human form, and he then becomes an animal. That's okay. That's logically valid. You're already animal in human form, so better take an animal body. So that will satisfy you much more because you're animal in a human body. It's a misfit. So you become an animal in an animal body. That's good fit. But for devotee, coming from human form to animal life, that's very great fall. And this is another evidence. Devotees who say that by doing devotional service, human life is guaranteed. What's happening here? Prabhupada says it's a great fall from human life to animal life. Especially for Bharat Maharaj, who is at such a high level of devotion, Bhava platform. If Bharat Maharaj on Bhava platform can become from human to animal, we are nowhere. We are even in Anarth Nivritti. How does it guarantee anyone in our stage of devotional life to actually not glide into animal life? Now people say Prabhupada said somewhere, of course, if you do devotional service sincerely, at least it is guaranteed you will not glide down into lower species of life, you will get human life. Prabhupada said. That in the verse Bhagavad Gita, Shuchinam Srimatam Gehe, in the purport Prabhupada writes there, at least he will not glide to animal life in lower species. But that's a very general statement. I told you, this is our general statement. But if we are not alert, especially in devotional life where Maya is always on alert, it is said by some acharya or saint somewhere that we sleep, but Maya doesn't sleep. Remember that. When we are sleeping, she is watching us. What to do with him? So, no matter how much you plan to escape from Maya, you have 12 hours or maybe 18 hours, but she has 24 hours because you will sleep. She'll keep on planning. So, remember that. So, although it is a very general statement, as a devotee you don't glide into lower species, but that's very general. Don't take advantage of that statement of Prabhupada. Bharat Maharaj fell down from Bhava platform because of his foolishness, and he became an animal. We can equally become an animal. Nobody guarantees anything here. So that's why Prabhupada said it's a very risk. So second statement is very, very important. But Prabhupada says, but because he did devotional service, so Krishna specially graced him to remember his previous life. Now, Bharat Maharaj makes a point. As Jad Bharat, he makes a point. He makes this point because I remember my previous lives. I remember my fall down. And I also remember that I fell down, but due to grace of Lord, I remembered my previous life as King Bharat in the body of deer. So I remember all these things. I remember my fall down. I remembered the grace of Lord. I remember both. So in this life as Jad Bharat, he makes a point. Atho aham jana sangada sango. Atho, that's why. Because I remember both things. I just don't remember my fall down. I remember also the mercy of Lord where he lifted me up. And that is why I have developed a very strong sentiment for Lord. I feel indebtedness for my Lord. That he saved me. He made me remember my previous lives as a deer. And I could remember, and I could then actually keep myself in the loop of devotional life. I didn't completely forget. So I remembered the grace of Lord. I remembered his mercy. I remembered his compassion. Not just fall down. And that is why Atha. That is why Aham jana sangada sango. That is why I always keep myself separate from association of an ordinary man. I keep myself aloof from bad association. This is very important statement for us. Now, how is it important for us? We have not fallen. We didn't fall down into animal life and nothing happened to us. But it's very important. Why? Because the word atha here is important. Therefore I remain away from bad association, bad thoughts. I try not to entertain my bad thoughts and I try to remain away from all these things. Why? Because I remember my fall down and I remembered that in my fall down condition, Krishna helped me. You see? So the way to remain away from bad association and to remain away from Maya is that you have to keep yourself, make you remember all those incidences where you fell down and Krishna actually picked you up by his mercy. If again and again you remember those incidences and you don't forget that experience, when you fell down due to your foolishness, Krishna lifted you up, then your sentiments for Krishna will become very strong. You will feel extremely indebted to your master, and then you will like to offer him some service and like to make yourself pure, because you know that when we fell down, Krishna helped me to again reinstate me. He served me, so I feel indebted first of all to him, So I should keep myself pure, because he expects that we should keep ourselves pure. Am I right? So I should fulfill his expectation. And the second thing is, I should not make him serve me. That's very important. Bharat Maharaj is thinking in his mind, Krishna had to serve him. That's the most painful thought for a devotee. In that verse of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, what's that verse? Bhagavad Gita. I'm just forgetting that verse. Huh? No. I'm thinking something else. What's that verse? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's comments in the purport of that verse of Bhagavad Gita. I think this is the verse. Yathamam prapatatam sate bhajamyam. In that purport, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, he mentions that the devotee never takes or never wants to take service from his Lord. He's pained when he thinks that his Lord, he has to serve him. Yeah, I think in that verse, Yogakshema Bhahamyam also. I think Vishwanath Thakur might have written in that. Either in that commentary, Yogakshema Bhahamyam, or in this commentary, Yathamam Prapadyante. Either of these. Vishwanath Thakur makes a point, but Vishwanath Thakur then raises a question that, there is one limb of surrender, six limbs of surrender. Anukulasya sankalpa patikulasya varjanam rakshishati iti vishvaso goptvrite varnam tatha atnikshepa karpanya shadvidha sharanagati. Goptvrite varnam tatha, that's one of the limbs of surrender, which means that Krishna will maintain you. A devotee has firm faith that Krishna will maintain us. Now Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur raises a question. When a devotee thinks that Krishna will maintain us, he has faith, but he doesn't expect that Krishna will maintain us. Because he is pained when he thinks that Krishna will maintain us. But at the same time, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur makes a point that a devotee should not become so much sorrowful that Krishna will maintain him. Because that is his job as a master. That's what he wants. But we don't expect that he should maintain us. Am I right? We should not take advantage of this fact that Krishna will maintain us. We should try to maintain our lives. Am I right? That's why we eat. We take care of our bodies. Otherwise, Krishna, you maintain us. I will not take care of anything. So as Prabhupada says, do your best and then leave on Krishna. Okay? So we don't expect. That's why we take care of ourselves, our lives, so that he doesn't have to serve us or have to maintain us. Although he will maintain us, that faith we have. Yogakshema Bhahamyam. He will complete whatever is lacking. But we should not take advantage of that. We should try to do the best. So that is very important there. One point, atha. Here the word atha is very important in this verse. Therefore, Bharat Maharaj was very careful in this life as Jad Bharat. He didn't take association of bad devotees, he didn't take association of bad thoughts, he didn't take any association of anything bad. He was very careful as Jad Bharat. Why? Because he remembered the mercy of Lord and his great fall down from human life to animal life. Still Lord protected him and he reinstated him as Jad Bharat. That's how we should be, atha. If you want to save yourself from Maya and fall downs, remember how Krishna is saving you every second from fall down. Or if you fall down in your consciousness, He's again reinstating you. He's again inspiring you, again giving you enthusiasm. Even after we have fallen down for millions of times, we have fallen down. Am I right? In our consciousness, we are doing some small things, wrong things, which we should not do, and we fall down in your consciousness every second. But every second, as Super Soul Krishna, he's again reinstating us in devotional life. He's again giving us enthusiasm and inspiration so that we don't go into depression. Am I right? So we should remember that. We should not just remember, we should actually recognize that fact. For Bharat Maharaj, atha here word is not just remembering. He's saying, I am aware of my fall down in past life. I am aware. Prabhupada doesn't use the word remember. Of course, smriti means remembrance of activities of a past life. But then Prabhupada writes in the purport, I am aware. I am aware. It's not just remembering your past experiences and the mercy of Lord. It is actually being aware of those experiences, keeping those experiences fresh in your memory and making yourself remember again and again, and that can save you. That might save you, not can save you from future fall downs. But you have to remember that, the mercy of Lord. Every second He is helping you. So, atha aham jana sangada sango vishankamano, that's for us, we learn from this Bharat Maharaj statement. Vishankamano vivritas charami. That's why I am completely detached. I am being afraid of the bad minutes. I wander alone, unnoticed by others. I am completely detached. Asangaha. Vishankamana. Completely detached. Asangaha. From all the bad association. Not just detached, but Vishankamana. I am afraid of bad association. So if you remember your fall downs, generally we forget a fall down. Am I right? We again forget. I mean, that's a natural human tendency. We forget. We are again lost in parties, prasadam, samosas, pastries, cakes which is offered to Krishna. We become lost in that. Prasadam is nice, but you don't have to forget. You don't have to get lost in prasadam. That's very important. You have to honor it. To remember what is happening in your life. Just remember, don't forget. That's why Krishna gave you remembrance. So that you can remember what happened in this life, where you fell down, where you did mistakes, and how were you reinstated in the grace of Lord again after doing mistakes. What happened? How did you get reinstated? You have to recognize it, not just remember it, and see what happened, and then remember, and then keep it in your mind and consciousness, and then actually by keeping all these incidences in your mind alive, that can help save you from actually illusion. So he's not just being detached from bad association, he's fearful. That brings fear in our heart. Vishankamano. When you remember all those incidences, in spite of His mercy, still we fall down. Still again Krishna does mercy, reinstate us, still we fall down. And that brings a lot of fear in our heart, in the heart of devotee. And this is another point. This is the best use of fear. A devotee is abhyam. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, divine qualities, the first quality is abhyam, fearless. But this is the best use of fear. This is where we should apply our fear. We should be fearful of bad association. We should not just be detached from this word, but we should be fearful of this word. Very important. Bhaktivinoda Thakur makes a point in his poem, that you should hate this material world. You should not just be detached from this material world. That's a very jnani take on that. Jnanis do that. As devotees, we are fearful. And we hate this material world. Not just fearful, but we also hate. Vishankamano also means hate. Vishankamano can also means hate. So devotee hates this material world. Devotee hates the sin in this material world. Devotee hates everything about material world. Prabhupada says material world is like a stool. Your activities in this material world to make peace, your activities in this material world, philanthropic activities, that's like spraying perfume in your toilet. It's a toilet. It can't be perfumed forever. It will again stink after some time. So we should be fearful. If you don't fear this material world, if we don't fear everything in this material world, if you don't fear non-devotees, we should be fearful of non-devotees, not just being detached. Then you will fall down, definitely. We are going to fall down. We are definitely going to fall down. You should run away from bad association. Tukaram was a great Maharashtrian devotee. So one great Mayavadi came to him to actually recite his Mayavadi recitation. So Tukaram couldn't say no, but he said, "Okay, you speak Mayavadi, but on one condition. I will put blanket on myself because I am feeling cold, and you recite and I'll hear." So Tukaram put blanket and he was reciting Mayavad, and in the blanket he closed his ear. He didn't want to hear. He was afraid of that Mayavadi. So we should not be just detached. We should be afraid. That's very important there. And how we will become afraid? If you can recognize and remember that you fell down over and over and over and over again, how dangerous is this material world? Padam padam at vipadam, isn't it? Vishankamano, actually any sane person will become fearful of this material world. Dangerous. Prabhupada always says it's a dangerous material world, am I right? Any sane person, any person in sanity, will be fearful of this material world. And any person who is not fearful of this material world, he is completely insane. That's all. That's why Rishabdev says, what's that? Mattaha? Nunam pramattaha kurute vikarmaha. Rishabdev makes this point. Everybody in this material world is insane. Pramattaha. Why? Because they fall down over and over again and they forget everything. And then they again fall down. They are not fearful of this material world. How insane that person has to be. He has to be completely insane. If a lion comes in front of you, if actually 10 lions comes in, if 10 lions comes and just surround you, and if you're not fearful, there is just two conditions. Either you are super liberated person or you're mad. So this material world is much million times more dangerous than 10 lions surrounding you. That's why in Mangal Arati we sing Samsara Dava Nalalila Loka. Material world is on fire. And we are singing in a very nice tune. Samsara Dava Nalalila Loka. As if it's very nice, but it's not nice. You have to recognize the fact what you are singing, why you are singing, and you have to actually take the purport and import of that song and live that in your life. That means the first verse of Mangal Arati, if you really understand what you are singing, you will develop fear of this material world after Mangal Arati. But if that's not happening after Mangal Arati, Mataji, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Prasad, very nice. And you have not understood anything. It's nonsense. So, Vishankamano Vibritas and that's why I move everywhere. I keep on moving with this sentiment, with fear and with detachment in my heart. Two things. I keep on moving, and that's what is devotees' life. They keep on moving. Preachers are keeping on moving. They keep on moving. So, as a preacher, you should have two sentiments in your heart: detachment and fear. Then you can save yourself from illusion. Most of the preachers are detached. We feel detached when we travel. Sometimes whether we are completely attached, but many preachers fall down. Am I right? They fall down. Many sannyasis fall down. Why? Because they are detached, but they don't have this fear in their heart. Prabhupada often said, "My devotees will fall down." Prabhupada said, "The devotees will fall down." In one of his famous conversation, he said, "You will fall down." One of his talk. Devotee said, "Prabhupada, why you are saying this?" Prabhupada said, "Because you don't fear Maya." That's very important. Okay, so all these teachings we get from this verse, and you can remember all these teachings. From every line we have a teaching in this verse. Smritir we have a teaching. Krishna Archana Prabhava we have teaching. Atha word, it's Atha word. It is compacted with many teachings. And Vishankamano, this word teaches us something. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. Swadu Swadu Pade Pade. Every line, every word is tasteful and relishable. It's so relishable, am I right? Okay, Jai. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Anybody wants to ask anything? I'm done.